Welcome back to the truffle patch here in the food forest. You'll remember last year that we planted 100 truffle trees, 50 of the French oak and 50 hazelnut. And we've been loving on them and looking after them over the past year, and we're just coming down to give you a recap on where we are. So this is one of the French oaks that we planted last year, and you can see how much it's come on. We've come through and taken off any suckers that were growing on these or the hazelnuts, and have got these ready for the season ahead. We've had obviously a very dry summer here in Western Australia, and we obviously have our irrigation system in place, so that's kept them nice and moist. And then throughout the year we just come through and manually weed. We've also been fertilising these with our Microlife and the Super Energy, the products from the Multicraft, and these are doing really well. We're very happy with how they're progressing. So you'll remember the process of these truffles and how they grow is that the tree is just the host for the truffle. So what happens is that the root system gets inoculated with the truffle spores, and it's from that connection and that connectivity in the soil that the truffles will grow, much like a mushroom. So we'll just wait and see and keep our fingers and toes crossed that these take off and we have a successful crop. We're back at the nursery for a little recap. 1 year on, and haven't these saplings grown so much? You might remember last year we planted some saplings in and they were only this sort of size, but with some irrigation, some TLC, they have come on leaps and bounds. So behind me are the Mary saplings, and the bees absolutely adore this. When they flower, they have this beautiful pollen that the bees adore. This is what creates this Mary honey, which is that really high total activity rate in the honey, and it's unbelievably good for us. This is what would have naturally been found in this region, the Mary trees. So this is part of our reforestation project. Here we have a eucalyptus tree that we've planted as well. These are just a really fast growing, beautiful tree that offers a great variety to the forest around us. And then behind me we have another type of eucalyptus. This is a red gum, so it flowers just in a slightly different way, with a slightly different colour. We'll add to that variety of our forest. And then finally we have our tea tree that we've planted. This is great because it's a good pollinator again. It comes out in a lovely spring flower. This will be used in a more ornamental style planting around one of the dams that we're looking at doing. So this has a specific purpose.
I'm one of the ones who looks after the tree during the week. So I come here at least once a week to check if everything is okay, check the irrigation, check after a strong wind if some trees are down to reattach them with cable tie. For the irrigation system, we put two sets of wires. So one wire where we tie a black pipe, and we put some drippers in each tree. The cable on the top is to attach the tree, because with a strong wind, they will all be lying down, so that's not what we want. So as needed, to help the tree to grow bigger and better, we are using two kinds of Multicraft products. One is called Microlife and one is called Super Energy.
Last year we also planted a lot of seeds to see how they would go growing in our nursery. Not many made it. Growing native seeds in a polytunnel is actually very difficult, but some did make it, and this is one of the breeds. This is an Illawarra plum. This is a really amazing plant for attracting birds and bees. This is also an amazing plant as it tolerates salty soils. And we have up on one of the hills here at Bangadang a bore that we've implemented which only has salty water coming through from it. So this will be a really good plant to plant around that and irrigate from that bore. So that's the plan for these plants. So we're back out in the paddocks where we planted our 1,000 trees this time last year. These trees that we planted consisted mainly of deciduous varieties, from maples and oaks to the one next to me, which is a London plane. The last 6 months have been some of the hottest on record here in Western Australia, and we had absolutely no rain between November and March, with very little into the beginning of the winter. So these trees have really struggled. So we've had to change some of the ways that we might normally water these plants. So we'll walk you through that and show you what's done really well over this period and what's not done so well.
On this 1,000 trees, some had irrigation, like this one. They've got water once a day because they are on the same irrigation at the avocado just next to me. So you can see that they are really big, huge, with a lot of leaves. And there is no sheep coming here, so they can't hit the leaves. So that's why they are quite beautiful now. Another part of the farm, there is one patch where they've got water twice a week, and one where there is no irrigation, so I have to go there in the past 6 months with the fire unit to water them by hand. So that's why they are not as big as those ones.
So one of the things that we did really well this year was to guard every single tree. It took a lot of work and was quite tedious. Some of it was more lengthy in timing than some of the actual planting that took place. And what we've actually found is that in spite of our best efforts, the sheep still managed to get to the trees. So you can see here on this golden elm here and the few that are behind me, that they've been topped at a point where the sheep can actually get to them. They've been able to get the branches that are sticking out from the sides and really are doing a bit of damage to the trees. So what we're going to do moving forward is fence off certain areas for a couple of years, let them get more established, and then take that fence away to let the sheep come through the bottom.
We'll be back next month with a new update. Make sure to subscribe to follow us on our journey and check out our Instagram for weekly updates @Bangadang Farm.